Hey, coming at you from deep in the tall grass. We've got another episode of Rage Across the Internet, the Werewolf the Apocalypse podcast. As always, I'm your host, Porter. To my left, producer Joey.
Hey, guys.
And we've got Jessica with us again. Hey,
Hello.
Jessica. So today, we're going to see what happens. We had some extra time, thought we'd do an extra show. Nothing exactly planned, but we want to talk about character. And I think we're going to start with the mundane things, the things that fall between the cracks. And is that okay?
I mean, I guess it depends on what you're talking about because, nobody wants to know when my character has to use the bathroom.
That's a good point, but is it a good idea to mention you took a shower?
I guess it depends on how close you are with your pack.
Also, maybe what we're doing. Like, if we're sleeping in the woods, maybe you don't necessarily need to take it. You're going to smell like the woods. Maybe that's a good thing.
That's a good point. Also, you got to eat. You got to drink. I think these are things that maybe fall between the cracks. And cool? Not cool?
Eating and drinking is something we have to do. Showering, not so much. Mm-hmm. And I see your point about, being in the woods and suddenly being, Irish spring clean. And maybe that, alerts somebody or something or,
That's a good point. But then you take that same scenario and now you're going from the woods and, hey, you're sent out to Newark on a job. Stands in the long shadow, needs your help.
And you walk into that building, and people...
And you literally have flies buzzing around your head.
Right, because you are the wild man of the forest, yeah.
That's a problem.
And people's eyes start watering because of your stink.
Yeah.
So, I think maybe at that point it's situational. I think maybe there are times you can assume that it happened, but maybe you shouldn't. I mean, I'm not suggesting that, hey, let's spend 5 minutes on your morning routine in the game.
Nobody wants to hear that.
Exactly. But maybe I woke up because this is where the game starts, and I'm going to do my usual. I'm going to go bathe real quick and get a bite to eat.
Yeah, and I think it also depends on your tribe. Because if you're a bone gnar,
Yeah, you're probably not showering.
Maybe you're not, maybe you are.
Well, maybe you are until, Mr. Wilson sees what you're doing with his hose.
And I mean, again, what form are you in? Because, a wolf can jump in a lake, and that's okay.
Yeah, and that's not really a problem.
Yeah, it's true.
But, my character stripping off all of her clothes in Hamid and jumping in the lake, that, depending on where that lake is.
Yeah. Eyebrows may get raised.
Yeah.
That's true.
So.
I could see the elders frowning on that.
Hey, it could happen. Who knows? I mean, there's always next game.
Sweet.
So you've got that to look forward to.
Yeah, cool. Well, I got a script anyway, so all right. I know something that, from what I've heard, very various experiences from other people, that often gets overlooked is in-pack interaction.
Okay.
There was a time where I had a group, and this particular pack, these characters, and I want to say it was 4, maybe 5 years they were together. They lived together. Obviously, this is a pack, and they never fucking spoke to each other.
Yeah. Well,
that could be a smoke signals, or
well, I mean, they just wouldn't. They talk to me and tell me what they're doing. They talk to the NPCs, in so much as they were with my NPC game at the time. Yeah. But
so the players never talk to each other,
right?
In character.
Yeah.
Like me looking at Jessica in game, going, "Hey, Willow, you want to do a thing?"
That never happened?
Practically never.
Huh.
And I mean, that's something that I've gone out of my way to make happen with you guys. Is you have to talk to each other. You're in a truck together, driving cross country to get to this other sept because the Moonbridge route's not there. You're not sitting in a car for 8 hours. You're not sitting in a car for an hour and not talking to the person next to you.
That's probably true.
That is 1000% true.
Especially in the situations we're in.
Right?
Like, can I get into the car with my brother and not talk for an hour? Yeah, probably. But that's because, like, we're driving up north or whatever. Like, it's fine.
But even if you can, how often does that happen?
It wouldn't very often, no.
See?
I mean, at the very least, you'd be like, hey, I'm kind of hungry. Can we hit a drive-through?
Yeah, there would be some form of conversation, even if it's totally mundane and just stupid.
Right? And, back to mundane. You ask, is that important?
Yes, it is.
Sometimes it is, yeah.
No, I mean, I think it is. I think it really is. Because the minutia of life can get swept under the carpet. You know what I'm saying? Like, the little things that bug us and irritate us. Think about, like, living with a roommate and just being irritated.
Yeah.
Because they ate your yogurt.
No, I understand that, yeah.
I mean, that's a small thing, but let's turn roommate to sept.
So there's a whole bunch of people.
You believe what that asshole, that asshole Reese did the other day? Or,
Yeah.
certainly. If you're looking at your characters as these two-dimensional objects, if you want to hang out in Cardboard Town, then I think it's fine that you don't speak, with the characters. But, I've said before, I'll say it again, you get out of this game what you put in. So if your goal there, and it should be, is to make it like a three-dimensional, like a real person, I think it's really important.
Yeah. And, I don't think that we have to be specific about, like, I'm going to shower now. I'm going to use this. I'm going to use, Irish Spring soap. But I think having the, I'm going to do my morning routine.
Mm-hmm.
And that could include a 5-mile run. Who knows?
And I guess that's really less important what it entails. But, so you're going to eat something, you're going to take a shower, you're going to probably change your clothes because gross. I don't care if you're also running or also meditating or also...
Here's what's fucked up. We didn't even discuss changing clothes.
No.
You see how that shit falls between the cracks? We didn't even discuss that. It kind of makes the point, doesn't it?
A little bit, yeah. A little bit.
We're talking about brushing our teeth and taking a shower. No one until right now said, yeah, maybe fucking change your underwear, dude.
I mean, I've got a list of the things, not with me, that my character has in the backpack that she keeps with her, and there is extra clothing in there. That is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
But when was the last time she changed it?
I couldn't tell you because we don't announce that. Is that important? Maybe it is.
And I think maybe it is. It's something that would take seconds of game time.
But it's critical.
It helps. It helps make the world.
Yeah.
It's a tiny fucking thing. You're not dedicating an hour, to
going through what you did this morning?
Right. When I send you guys across a moon bridge and I shut my craw and just wait until I'm satisfied with the amount of interaction you guys have done, that's what happens. We're not taking an hour on that.
No, it's 10 minutes.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe 10 minutes.
Just enough, eat your fucking vegetables. Talk to each other.
Eat your vegetables. Although that's kind of accurate.
I mean, and it shouldn't be that way. And it's not really pulling teeth.
Well,
we exaggerate here,
but you like to give us the opportunity to have a conversation.
Yeah.
Like, you don't force it on us, but
But
this is the time that you would organically do that, so I'm going to give you a few minutes to do that should you want to.
Exactly. And when clearly everyone is done doing that, then we'll move on fine.
Right.
And you know what? If you guys pick up a thread and start bullshitting for 20 minutes, I'll let it happen.
Yeah.
That's character building. Cool. But I'm also not going to force you to it.
Right.
But, you go back to the complaining about the yogurt stolen, Jessica is Willow's player.
Mm-hmm.
Who is Willow going to bitch to about Whiplash riding her ass? I mean, if it's not the pack, who is it?
If it's not the pack and Shalatzi's not there anymore, then that's nobody. So, if you're going to bitch about something, it's going to... Also, your pack is your fucking family. Like, that's who you're talking to.
Exactly. So
Yeah, like
that should be part of the game, right?
it really,
Yeah.
It's daily
really should.
life.
Yeah.
I suppose just because we all experienced the same thing
Well-
doesn't mean that there's nothing to talk about.
And
Right.
it's not even just, bitching about whiplash. It's gossiping.
Yeah.
It's, hey, I heard this juicy tidbit.
Yeah.
Or what is it the elders are hiding?
Yeah,
Because this isn't normal.
right.
Or in Dan's case, this is my latest
Conspiracy.
conspiracy theory.
Yeah. The White Howlers were never taken out. They're hiding in a bunker.
Where's that bunker?
It's an undisclosed location because they don't want to be found.
So how do you know they're there?
Because they're no longer the White Howlers because there's no running water there, so all their fur's gray because it's dirty. The fuck did I just say?
Not even sure.
I don't know, but we can't let him listen to this because
Because he will actually start to believe. Well, the Grey Howlers. I've never heard of them. Where can I find more information on the Grey Howlers?
I can't wait till he hears this.
I know. He's gonna be so mad at us.
Or he's going to piss himself laughing. One or the other.
Oh God, I hope it's option B.
let's hope he has a change of clothes.
And he announces it because otherwise how would we know?
Because we certainly don't want to see it happen.
Oh, we make our own fun.
We really do.
Sometimes that's bad, but
No, and okay, so back to like gossip and bitching and like, hey, could you hand me that thing? Like, there's so much interaction that happens on the daily. Like, think about being at work. You talk to your coworkers.
about literally everything, yeah.
Yeah. Whether it's stupid or silly, and
It's usually
sometimes
silly and stupid.
yeah, sometimes and petty, and it's like that, but it's magnified, and we need to do that in game, and we need to remember that headspace and put it into our character, because it's not like, hey Jessica, because there is no Jessica.
Right.
It's Willow. And it's Echo, and Willow and Echo have to talk to each other.
Right. We
And-
can't just assume that the other one knows what's going on because we're sitting here in the same living room on the same couch.
Yeah, like throwing dice around.
Right.
Well, and moreover, let's talk about pack bonds.
Yeah.
This is my pack, they're my family. Well, why? Well, because you said so? Because it's part of the game? Or because you know these characters as people, and there are things about them, who they are, that are part of your character as a whole.
The shared experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, they're not just battle buddies. You've lived through stuff together.
Right.
So, you can count on them. Good, bad, or indifferent. Legal, illegal, immoral. They got your back.
Exactly.
So, yeah, you can talk about anything and everything, and we frankly should.
That's a really good point. That is a really good point.
Yeah, and it's something, again, that just, it gets filed under that mundane thing that so often slips between the cracks.
And, I mean, these characters, they're not on the legal.
No.
What?
No.
These are not
that is
law-abiding.
nonsense.
These are not law-abiding citizens. So, I've got my criminal buddy.
I don't know what makes you think there'd be any illegal activity in your backwoods nature-worshipping murder cult. It's fucking lunacy.
But I mean, not just backwoods nature-worshipping murder cult. It's also,
Okay, your big city nature-worshipping murder cult.
Exactly. And your small-town nature-worshipping murder cult.
Really, it's a nature-worshipping murder cult for all shapes and sizes.
I was wondering when one of you guys was going to stumble over that.
God damn it.
But yeah, so you have, maybe 5 people, you know, let's leave the Sept out of this and the NPCs out of this.
Sure.
You have, you know, 3 to 5 people that are committing illegal activities, you know.
On the regular.
Right. You know, probably porous church mice. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
stealing and killing to eat, you know, drink, whatever. Who knows when they last changed their clothes or showered, because we've gotten over that. And there's no discussion about anything. Like, until you throw out a blueprint of the bank you're going to knock over? I don't think so.
You know, not even so much as I'm hungry.
You know, hell, like, if we manage to steal a car, like, don't touch the radio, driver picks the tunes. Like, we all know that road trip rule. But
maybe voice it.
yeah, maybe it needs to be said. Like, you know, go ahead, touch that tuner dial again, I'll cut your hand off. Don't worry, it'll grow back.
Right?
And it'll feel great while it's happening.
Quit crying about it. You took worse last week during that thing with the skull pig.
But yeah, like, not even so much as, you know, driver picks the tunes.
It's the little things, but they add up to a lot, I think.
Yeah, they really do. And, you know, I mean, yeah, I'm a new player to this group, but I don't know nearly anything about Willow.
Neither do the boys.
Which, that's not
But-
great.
Actina.
But that only takes you so far.
That's true.
You know, when you first met them, absolutely. But Willow's gone through hell and back with Hunter and Ghost.
And I mean, it's the little things like when you go to a McDonald's, what does she order?
Well, I don't think we ever mentioned going to a McDonald's.
But you know what I'm saying.
But that
inevitably,
that illustrates the point. We don't talk about that.
but
We don't talk about going
inevitably,
to get food.
inevitably, it's had to have happened at
Right.
some point.
Yeah, they should know whether I would get chicken or beef.
Right.
That-
Like something that basic. Like, you know, chicken, beef, or fish. Like, you know, I mean, let's knock it down. You get the wedding invitation and you get the little menu card and you got to pick one option. What is it?
Beef.
But you know what I'm saying? Like,
It's the right answer, though.
It is the right answer.
it's always the right answer, but I'm wrong so often. But, like, we should know that and not have to think about it.
That's true.
You know? What would
That's true.
Hunter
Porter,
order?
You and I go through a drive-through. You are way more likely to get a cheeseburger than to get a chicken sandwich.
It's true.
Most of the time, depending on where we've gone and what their special is right now.
We order pizza on a Friday. I already know what you're getting.
That's true.
That doesn't have to be a discussion. I ordered yours.
Yeah, right. We're getting pizza. This is what happened.
And, hey, look. You two didn't battle a skull pig last week.
It's true.
true.
We do not live in the woods together.
Nope.
We don't live together at all.
Nope.
Nor do we live near woods. So,
No.
Lots
not-
of things are made of wood. That's close.
This chair is made of wood.
See?
okay. However, larger picture here.
Not even gonna fight
No,
that. I'm
no,
real impressed.
No.
No, lots of things are made of wood. That chair is in fact made of wood.
Same thing.
Um,
Wooden chair, forest, identical.
So I'm reminded of something my youngest brother said one time. Cows and fish are basically the same thing because they both live in or around water. And that's a little bit what I'm getting here.
It's flawless.
I think he was like 6 at the time, so it was perfect.
He was
Perfect.
ahead of his time.
Right.
perfect.
Yeah.
And you know, like I know maybe it might seem like we're doing radio for 3 here, but you know, think about what we're talking about, everybody. You know, this is stuff for you guys, for your games, for your own character development too. You know, this is the good shit that no one looks at.
Yeah, this is the stuff that, like, I mean, if you take the time and you put in the effort, that it will just increase the enjoyment. It will increase the playability. You'll know these things. And you won't have to think.
Yeah.
It'll just be, well, and eventually it'll get to be, well, this person will just do X, Y, Z.
Yep.
And you'll be able to count on that.
And isn't that exactly how a Garu pack's supposed to work?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is true.
You know, pack tactics should build off the little stuff. Everything is right in the world because Willow will order a McChicken with no lettuce.
That's certainly not what she'd order, but...
That is what I am naming the next chronicle.
Chicken with no lettuce?
No, the whole thing.
Willow will
All
order.
is
Everything
right
is
in
right in the world because
Willow
Willow...
will order. Okay, alright, well, explain that to the guys.
You can't make me.
They're gonna ask.
Well, the answer is shut up, that's why.
Listen to
Story
the
time
podcast.
That's right.
Listen to the podcast.
Yeah, there you go. Thanks for listening to the podcast, Dix. That's going to be the thing.
Ooh, I like that.
I think that is the next name.
Thanks for listening to the podcast, you dicks.
Oh,
But yeah, and I mean, the mundane stuff, like, when you're driving through the small town and you've got this bunch of greasy, unwashed, make your eyes water, smelly bunch of mass murdering, nature worshipping cultists, you know, the sheriff is gonna be on your tail. And he's gonna pull you over. And he's
God, that
gonna...
sounds like a cult I want to join so bad.
Yeah, just leave the Irish Spring at home. But he's going to ask questions. And we're going to need to know what our answers are. Like, without thinking about it.
What are you doing here? Just passing through. Yeah, where are you going?
right.
Yeah, because that just passing through ain't going to cut it.
Nah, no, the smaller the town, the less likely that is.
And, you know, if you say we're cousins and I say we're best friends at the same time,
Yeah.
radar, you know, their antenna's going up.
Well, I mean, both of those things can be true.
But
But we didn't say the same thing.
Yeah.
So, like, we didn't even try to get our stories straight.
Exactly.
and that walks us into the problem because, hey, how technologically savvy is this small town? Are we going to be in the paper tomorrow? Are we going to have to allow ourselves to get, like, taken to the station and deal with that bullshit? And maybe one of these assholes is going to frenzy because his roles maybe aren't on point? You know? But that leads into a whole extra thing of bullshit, potentially.
Yeah.
And, you know, as a storyteller, that's good fodder that, again, often just gets brushed in between the cracks.
And I mean, you know, are we getting fingerprinted and where's that running? And, you know, do they have access to databases and?
Right? Little things turn into big things.
Yeah.
And those big things can make really cool stories if you're paying attention.
And a lot of trouble.
Yeah, because before you know it, we're killing an entire small town.
Right.
Because
And then that shit winds up in the paper anyway.
Because you said we were cousins and I said we were best friends. And, you know, we didn't know.
Yeah, because you couldn't get your fucking story straight first. Good job. Good job, you two.
Yeah, we
Good
just
job.
murdered a whole town.
I like how we're in trouble when we haven't done anything.
But again, it's the little things about character building, you know, and I think back to creation in a question that I pose to new players.
Oh yeah, we all know this question.
You know? It's one that I get a new one because, you know, the jig's up, they know it. But what's the question, Joey?
What's your favorite ice cream flavor?
And now if you're listening, going, what the hell are you talking about? How is this possibly important? How can this possibly matter? Why are you wasting my time? I want my money back. I'm turning this off. I'm telling my dad. I understand all of those things. But it's a hell of a question.
And when you really stop and think about it from your character's perspective, you can get some very interesting results.
Because, you know, the answer isn't important. If Willow's favorite ice cream is rum raisin, or if it's mint chocolate chip, or if it's cherry Garcia,
It's none of those. Joey's
she's
got
got
her
her hand raised.
I want to know what Willow's favorite ice cream flavor is and why.
Well, why? Because it combines all of her favorite things. Her favorite flavor, provided it was around in the time period, and I can't really confirm or deny that it was,
Yeah,
is Ben and Jerry's fish food.
Okay.
and I applaud you for getting that out before I could cobble together a joke about like strippers and chainsaws and like what the fuck is stripper chainsaw spirit ice cream? But
I'm like mashed potatoes, olives, and cheddar cheese. That sounds like an awful ice cream.
That does sound terrible, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But fish food combines all of her favorite things. It's chocolate ice cream with little chocolate fish-shaped pieces and caramel and marshmallow swirls. And caramel and marshmallow are just straight sugar, and they're great.
Wow. So it combines her favorite things.
Yep.
So you just take all of her favorite food items and
Caramel and marshmallow are really the thing.
you just throw them into an ice cream tub.
Yep.
Okay.
and you know, that gives you. She's got a bit of a sweet tooth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, which to me would also suggest a little bit of hyperactivity.
Possible.
I wouldn't say that. Also, your favorite ice cream flavor doesn't necessarily mean that you have a sweet tooth. You can just really like those particular things.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, I guess, but that's not how the question's designed. And you know,
I understand how it's designed.
Yeah.
So yes.
Yeah, you're the system. I'm telling people about it, thing, you jerk. You know, I think my two favorite answers of that over the years, and one of them came from Joanna character years past.
Yep. Catherine. Catherine's favorite ice cream flavor. What she would answer would be pistachio. Her favorite ice cream flavor happened to be, actually, in all reality, Rocky Road. But that wasn't adult enough sounding. It wasn't as sophisticated. So she would lie and tell people pistachio was her favorite. Everybody believed pistachio was her favorite. And so
Because why would you not?
So when people were ordering ice cream, they would just order her pistachio and she would choke it down.
Oh, she really didn't like it at all?
It was not anywhere near her favorite, but it was the most sophisticated. The most adult. So she would eat it.
That's good reasoning.
Right? And that tells you a lot about Catherine as a character right from that.
Mm-hmm.
The other one would be Sekhmet Rainmaker, whose answer was chocolate. But the truth was this, was it the raspberry pecan caramel?
Something or other.
Yeah.
There was some sort of thing.
That he found at one particular shop in Chicago one time. But the character being a silent strider is all over the place, being a noted messenger. You can get chocolate anywhere. So what's that tell you is it's a guy who's he'll settle for the thing because he knows he can have it rather than reaching for the thing he really wants.
So yeah, those are the ice cream flavor question. And I love how when you stop and you consider it from your player's perspective, your character's perspective, you can get such deep analytical expression out of it from this silly question.
Right, and it's also designed to throw off the player because again now the jig's up. Everybody knows. Find a new question, but you know when you don't see it coming, and you just think it's a dumb strawberry. Who gives a shit? Okay, but why?
And
Because the answer's not the answer. The why's the answer.
Correct.
Why is the answer.
You know, and you get those character building exercises like that you can do. You know, I know Joey came up with one several years ago. She used to help me find a character I was really having trouble getting around. And it was well, you're having lunch.
You're sitting in an outdoor table on the sidewalk.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just doing your own thing, eating your lunch. And all of a sudden, right near you, there's a car accident. Bam, 2 cars collide. What do? Willow?
Yeah.
So as the character,
Yep.
What would Willow do? Sitting there eating a turkey sandwich or whatever. Boom, car accident.
there are a lot of factors in that.
Yep.
Am
Yes,
I
there are.
someplace where I'm comfortable? Am I someplace like off on a job somewhere?
You were just sitting there In a town, eating lunch on the sidewalk.
Well, here's the thing: is now you're kind of in charge of those answers.
Yeah.
You know, and I'll do a quick pivot, and then we'll go back to you because this is just a fun experiment to do it all.
Yeah.
You guys should do it at home too. I mean, it helps.
It really does help with character development.
You know, I have my I had the character in question at the time was a Shadow Lord named Jude, and so she says, there's a car accident. So what do? The first thing out of my mouth was, well, what type of cars?
Yep. Because.
Well, because
What can I get out of this?
Yeah, if it's like a Mini Cooper and a Rolls Royce, I'm going to go help. If it's like a Pinto and a Gremlin, I'm going to finish my lunch.
Yeah. And I mean, it helps get at that character motivation. Like, Jude was looking for what he could get out of the situation.
Right. And I mean, that was what you learned is he'll go help if he sees a way it will benefit him. Otherwise, he's not going to waste his time.
I suppose the answer then is that, I mean, Willow largely wants to remain unnoticed. She wants to get her thing done. She wants to remain, she doesn't want to have attention drawn to her. So if nobody else is helping, maybe she's also not helping.
Wow. Okay.
Unless she's in a place where she feels comfortable. Like if she's somewhere where she knows people.
Okay.
Like if they already know her, if people in the area already know her, she might go see if she can help. If nobody knows her and nobody's ever going to see her again, what's the difference? Because she wants to remain under the radar.
You know what's neat there is because this is such an open-ended question. There's a lot of variables. There could have been lives at stake.
Yeah.
Too bad.
Yep.
And that's not, we got to shrug over here on Jessica.
There's a lot of factors. What does it fucking look like? What's happening?
And that's the thing, is there's not a wrong answer there. And there's a level of, well, you can invent the surrounding things. Or if this way it's this, or if this way it's that. Again, if a limo got rear-ended by, like an F-150, well, June's going to go help the limo man. If it's, if it's the pair of gremlins, he's going to not feed them after midnight.
I mean, I know what Jessica would do, because there was, in fact, a rollover accident in front of work a couple of years ago. We all went outside.
I was going to say, you took pictures.
I did take pictures, yes.
But you did call the cops.
Right, we called...
She said that. She called the cops. She didn't just let two people bleed out.
We called 911, and so we went out there with water. We went out there with, with any, first aid supplies that we did have, Anybody that was able to be moved, we did. We're not stupid.
The thought experiment isn't for Jessica.
Exactly. I think that Willow would try to stay under the radar. I think that's what she would do.
Now, would Willow sit there and continue to eat her lunch in full view of this accident, or would she take her lunch and leave?
I think she'd probably leave.
Okay. Would she pay her bill?
Nice.
Probably not.
All right.
If it's a serious accident, she doesn't want to get involved, but does she go to a payphone and make an anonymous call to the police? Or does she
That's somewhat likely.
See, and my character has a complete and total different answer to the thought experiment. Of course Echo would be the first one there, ripping the doors off the cars to help the people.
And those answers... I mean, it's a silly little thought experiment, but here's the thing. And here's the thing, if you've got a group of new players or you've got this new character that you're not quite sure about yet, this is a thing you can do while you're at work and it's just mundane and boring or whatever. You can just think of this at the back of your head. And it will help give such fucking insight as to who this character is, to help flesh them out and make them real people, which again only serves to make your game stronger.
Exactly. I love the thought experiments, and I love diving deeper into the psyche of the character, just to find out the why.
That was actually kind of fun. Give me another.
We can absolutely do that, but I think we're going to have to do that off mic.
Okay.
And this has been fun, though. We cobbled this together pretty well, I think.
Yeah, no, that was far more interesting than I thought it was going to be when you suggested the topic.
Oh, she naysayed the shit out of it.
Absolutely. I don't really feel like that's going to work, but all right, sure, let's try it.
And, I took our own advice and I said, let's just jump in and let's just do it.
All right. Worst case, we don't enjoy it.
In worst case, it ends up in the delete bin.
Right. And hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Email us in and tell us, what do you do to help flesh out a character? Do you use thought experiments? Are the things we talked about helpful for you? Have we opened doors?
Do you use writing prompts?
Yeah. Tell us about your process. And you can do that by emailing us at rageacrossthepodcast@gmail.com. You can hit us up on Facebook at Rage Across the Internet, which, hey, by the way, while you're there, how about you give us a like and maybe share it with some friends? And while you're sharing things, you can tell everyone you know about this episode and the ones before it, and they can find those at iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, or on our website, which is rageacrosstheinternet.buzzsprout.com. You like to tweet? You can do that. We do that too. You can find us at Rage Across. But in the meantime, we can't wait to see you next time. We thank you for your support. And on behalf of Jessica, Joy, and I, be excellent to each other. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Rage Across the Internet's music is It's Into the Fog by Darren Curtis, shared with a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 unported license. For details, check out the information under the podcast.